Let's just take a moment to be present. What I'm going to invite you to do in this moment is to actually be in your body. So as you breathe in, recognize the air. You might even want to rub your hands together and actually feel what that feels like. For me, I am learning that being present in my body is being present in life. How often are you living in the activity of your brain? How often are you lost in your thoughts and allowing yourself to just go into Thoughtville, thought land, imagination land, and not being fully present? I know for me in 2021, there was a lot of that. And what I'm learning and coming to know for myself is that the more fully integrated I am, mind, body, spirit, that the more alive I feel, the more present I am. And that when I am in one aspect of my being more than the other, that if I hang out there too long, I am not in the fullness of my life. So take a moment take a moment right now in this moment and recognize where you live mostly. Are you mostly in your physical body, in your mental body, or your spirit body? The theme for this year is living everyday wonder. Living everyday wonder. And what I can share with you is that there's this idea of extraordinary and ordinary, and that in the ordinary, that the ordinary is really extraordinary. And that when we actually come fully present, that there is nothing that is really ordinary, even though we're living ordinary lives. There is the extraordinary in the ordinary, and it sounds like a bunch of mumbo jumbo, and you can laugh if you want to. It's okay. I know I do. And spiritual living doesn't happen only when you're on that meditation cushion. Spiritual living doesn't only happen when you're in meditation. Spiritual living is a day-to-day, breath-by-breath activity. The question is are you aware that the life that you are living is life itself? Have you become aware that the life that you are living is life itself? and that the life that you are living is God, is life itself, is the universe. It is the thing itself. And that your life, or what you call your life, that because it is the thing itself, it is actually occupying the body. And that the body has a brain. And so many times people call it the mind-body-spirit connection. And if you notice, when people call it the mind-body-spirit connection, it's the mind, body, and then the spirit within. I'm going to invite you to begin to look at it actually from the other way, that it is the spirit, body, mind connection. Now, what on earth does that mean? I see some faces on Zoom like, what you talking about, sunshine? What's the difference between mind, body, spirit and spirit, body, mind? And what I am actually pointing to is the order in which you see yourself. Do you see yourself in the order of mind, body, spirit, or do you see yourself as spirit, body, mind? Because for me, as this idea of living everyday wonder unfolds, when I am in the mindset of mind, body, spirit, I am going from what I'm going to call the least to the greatest. I'm going from the least to the greatest, meaning my brain, yay, birth is on. I love it. Yahoo, I'm going to celebrate that with you, beloved. I am celebrating that with you. Our beloved Bertha is with us. Yes. And here's the idea, that when I am going from my brain, or what people call the mind, my brain to my body to spirit, yes, there's this idea of an ascension. There is this idea of this going from the physical to the spiritual. And too many times we think we are our bodies. Too many times we think we are our minds only. But we have this unique life, this amazing life, that who we are and what we are is life. And this life has this body, and this body has this brain. And so many times we depend upon our intellect. Oh, how smart we are, the education we got, the degrees we have, the titles that we've earned. And what I'm here to suggest is that those are great, but I am more than my intellect. I am more than my body. I am spirit. You are spirit. You are life itself that is occupying a body, and that body has a brain. And to the degree in which we actually recognize that, and then actually begin to remind ourselves of the truth of who we are, who I am is spirit, who I am is life. Life in this body, life with this body that has a brain that functions. But too many times I depend upon my brain to tell me, or to dictate to me, what is true and what is not true. And yet what I get to recognize is that my thinking sometimes is upside down. That the thinking, that those thoughts, that just because I have a thought doesn't make it the truth. You know, that too many times we think that we're separate from life itself. And when we fully depend upon the brain, and we rely upon our intellect, that our intellect will fail us. and that it will create separation where there is no separation. And I think that's why it's super important, especially for 2022, as I'm gonna say all the time, show me your tutu, show me your tutu, right? In 22, that this is the time right here and right now. So if you have fear of missing out, if you are feeling unfulfilled, if you are lacking in your spiritual know-how, if you have a desire to improve, if you're on the social media channels and you're feeling desperate and despair and depression, if you're worried about how many likes you get on a particular post, I'm here to let you know that you are more than that, and that there is an answer. And that the answer actually comes from within you. And that right where you are, the power, the presence, the life of the Almighty, of the infinite intelligence is activated right where you are. And to the degree in which you recognize, in which you know, in which you can actually feel that your life is of value, that your life is the life of God, is the unrepeatable, perfect, magnificent way that God is showing up in human form. And the way to that is by surrounding yourself with activities and reminding yourself of the truth of who you are. That spiritual living, that living the extraordinary life at any age, at any physical age, because I know in our spiritual community, we have the gamut in age. That at any age, to live your extraordinary life, to recognize the extraordinary in each and every moment is possible and brings joy. Now, I was reminded this morning, while I was hanging out with the Spanish crew this morning, I was reminded of a childhood game. That childhood game is hide and seek. Hide and seek. Now, if you were anything like me growing up in the Bronx, had a handful of friends on a spring or summer or fall day, and let's play hide and seek in the neighborhood. And sure enough, I was it, and I'd put my head down like this, and I would count to 10. 1, 2, 3. And don't you know that before I counted to 10, all of my friends scattered around. They scattered around and they were hiding from me. Now the joy of the search, it was like, ain't nobody gonna get away from me. Ain't nobody good enough to hide from me. I'm gonna find you. I'm going to find you. I'm going to discover where your hiding place is, and I'm going to see you no matter how you try to camouflage yourself. Now, I want to tell you a story which is not scripturally correct, but it brings home the point of what I'm about to share with you. And that is this. God, in its infinite wisdom, having created other life from itself, let's call them angels, said to the angels as it created humanity, hey angels, I want to play hide and seek with humanity, which I've created, which is really me. And I want to hide somewhere where they won't find me. Where do you think I should hide? And one of the angels said, why don't you hide inside of them? They'll never look there. What if, as adults, we actually, starting today, began to live everyday wonder by being it, and playing hide and go seek. And instead of us being the ones to hide, that we actually engaged in the joy and the thrill of finding and meeting God in all life, in each and every opportunity. That it's not just on Sundays when we're being all spiritual, time to meditate, y'all. That it's not just when we're trying to be better than anybody else. Oh, my life is so good. No, but that in fact, in each and every moment, especially in those moments when we're arguing with somebody, when we're angry with somebody, when somebody is showing off, when we know more than the other person, when we're on social media, that in each and every moment that we're reminding ourselves of, let me look for God up in here. Let me look for life up in here. Let me look for the good in this moment, even though it might be hiding with something that I might call ugly or not enough, or how dare you bring this to me. What if I were to play hide and seek and actually find the good, find the God in those moments? I think I would need to be so fit, spiritually fit, to have that kind of consciousness and awareness on a regular basis. And that would need to come from, some deep practice, from some practice that I was engaged in. It would have to come from some practice like meditation, from some practice like prayer and affirmation and study. It would need to come from some practice like journaling and visioning and sacred service and counseling and giving and being in beloved community. See, if I actually wanted to find in everyday wonder the affluence and the compassion and the well-being and the health and the artistry and the generosity and the connectedness of all life, I would probably have to engage in some of these things that would remind me of the truth of who I am. And that as it reminds me of the truth of who I am, it can't help but remind me of the truth of who I am. You see, how else could I engage in everyday wonder? How else could I see the extraordinary in the ordinary unless I had that kind of an outlook, unless that was my come from? I would have to know that I am life. I am life, and that I have a body, and that my body has a brain, and that as I live spirit, body, mind, that is the truth of who I am, so that has to be the truth of everything, of all situations and circumstances. You see, we cannot continue to go into uncharted territory like 2022 with the mindset of looking for error. We might see error. We might see discord. But we believe that heaven is within us and that we experience it to the degree that we become conscious of it. You know, our declaration of principles says that God, life, spirit, universe manifests itself in, through all of creation, and that it's not absorbed by its creation, and that the manifest universe is the body of God, is the body of spirit. That spirit is infused in, through, and as all of creation. So that's why it's important to recognize the beauty, to recognize life, to recognize where I fit in all of this. It's important in this moment that you're fully present in your body. Again, how do I feel alive? It's through that spirit, body, mind connection. It is through that triune nature. It is me recognizing that, whoa, I can touch and feel and smell and taste and hear and see. I can sense. And not to fully rely upon my brain's understanding, but the surpassing, the passing of human understanding. That it is indeed through my daily spiritual practices that I begin to actually see the everyday wonder, and that I begin to engage in those things, in those activities, that I begin to fully participate in my life. So that means that when I'm happy, I get to say, I'm happy. I make myself happy. That when I am bored, I say, I'm bored. I make myself bored. I'm angry. I make myself angry, or I'm angry. It means to fully feel, not just in here, not just living here, but living fully in each and every moment. Spirit, body, mind. Spirit, body, mind. So I'm going to invite us to play hide and go seek, but to be it. To be it. To be the one to search. To search and to celebrate. To search and to look. And to search in all areas of our life. I'm actually intrigued by our Wheel of Life tool, and I'll share this with you. As you take a look at your inner life, are you going to play hide and seek in your inner life? In your play, and find what's been hiding? In your creativity, I dare you. I dare you to play hide and seek in creativity and find what's been hiding, what's been out of your plain sight because you haven't been interested in looking, or your emotions, or in your physical body. See what you're capable of doing and being, or how much you can rest even. Play hide and go seek in your relationships, and in nature, and in work, and in your finances, and in your home, and your community. You name it. You name it. Something very extraordinary is happening here. Because there are no ordinary moments in your life. And as a result of your spiritual practices, as a result of seeking and seeking and seeking, and then finding, you arrive at a consciousness of unity only in such degree as you see that what you're looking for and what you're looking with and looking at. So in other words, it's you. It is already you. You are life. You are life. And as life, you have this body, and this body has a brain. And this is the threefold nature of your life: spirit, body, mind. Begin to hang out begin to have this balance of being fully present in spirit, in body, and in mind. So this year we envision a world that works for all of creation, right? This year our mission at Centers for Spiritual Living is to provide spiritual tools for personal and global transformation. Throughout the year, we're going to be remembering and relearning and trying on new spiritual tools. We're going to be using spiritual tools that you've had for a lifetime. A lifetime. But this time, we're actually going to utilize these spiritual tools so that we can transform our own life. And that as our own life is transformed, and as I am being fully present and recognizing the extraordinary, that I'm recognizing that your life is the life of God. Your life is the life of God. Heaven is right where you are. Life is right where you are. The unique and unrepeatable way that life shows up is you. It is you. It is me. And now we get to be playful grown-ups and play hide and go seek and actually find the extraordinary life that is not only our own life, but that is the life of all. It is so, and now it is, and so it is.